what does it mean for all of us to live life fearlessly?
My body created cancer. The doctors told my family that these are my final hours, and I went into a coma and I died.
Oh, no.
Look at that. Look. You just did that. Yes, exactly. Now that you know the truth of who you really are, your body will heal very, very quickly. Life after life is better than life. We leave behind our culture and all the beliefs that we've accumulated over a lifetime.
You have big warrior energy.
So what really crosses over is our pure essence. Go back and live your life fearlessly.
Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Michael Sandler, your host on Inspire Nation. If you've ever wanted to take back your power for yourself, for your family, and all of Mother Earth, then do we have the Dying to Be Me show for you. Today, I'll be talking with repeat best-selling author Anita Moorjani, who's had one of the most profound near-death experiences ever reported and that I've ever heard about what it means to take back our power, rediscover our inner strength, and to help make a giant shift on this earth today. So welcome back to the show, Anita. Are you ready to shine?
I'm absolutely ready, and thank you for having me back on. Your shows are so fun, so fun. Woo-hoo! I love them.
Thank you so much, Anita. And on that beautiful note, I can't believe I'm going to dovetail or pull on the lever to the railroad tracks. Before we dive right into things, Anita, are we being manipulated or is our power being taken away?
I do feel that there is a lot that is happening that is shaping us, which is not for our benefit. It's doing us a disservice. Yes. Whether it is an intentional or somebody in a position or a group of people or a body of people in a position who are doing that and who are conspiring to do this, I'm not certain about that. So I don't want to speak from knowledge as to who is manipulating us or whether it's intentional or whether, but regardless of that, whether it's a who or a what or an intentional, or whether it's just something that's just happened because of the way our societies are structured, I do feel all the time that mainstream media, medical, pharmaceutical companies, our politicians, yes, they are always manipulating us to get the results that they want.
Thank you. And that was, you threaded the needle amazingly well, Anita. That was perfect. I want to bring it back in time. I want to go to the arc of your life that's brought you here and to bring you here as the wisdom keeper that you are. I want to go back to February 2nd, 2006, and before that. And I also, in rereading your story and feeling into who and what you are, whether we call it the zeitgeist, the political climate, I'm going to say it's the ego of humanity gone awry, whomever, whatever we want to call that. It seems like that disempowerment on an individual level helped lead you to your entire arc and entire journey.
Yes, it did. I was completely disempowered on an individual level, which is what caused me to get sick in the first place. And the disempowerment for me came from being, I guess, I don't want to use the word manipulated because I don't believe in this case that it was intentional, but yet it was, yes, but it was a form of manipulation of trying to fit into my culture and being, basically I come from a culture, particularly in the generation that I grew up in, a culture that has a lot of gender disparity. And so the messages that we receive from our culture is one that controls us as women and gives the power to men. And so our value or our worth is measured by how valuable we are to the men in our community and in our families, our fathers, our brothers, our future husbands. And so we are groomed to be desirable to a future husband. And so these are the messages we get even from our religious leaders, from the temples we go to, from the Hindu gurus that we see. And you are, as a woman, you get labeled as tarnished if you do certain things. And so this is a form of manipulation as well. And so I grew up feeling completely disempowered because the person I was inside versus the person I was expected to be within the culture were two different people. So which one do you
If
follow?
I can interrupt for one brave moment.
Of course.
If I have her name right, Kuan Yin, you have warrior, big, I don't know if you've ever heard that before. I hope you have, Anita. You have big warrior energy, and you were being squeezed into a tiny little body that became an 85-pound frame when you were, boom. That is who and what you are.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that, for seeing that. I feel very seen by you, so I appreciate that.
So now diving back in, sorry to take you. So you were being squeezed into a tiny little frame to fit into the societal norms where you couldn't speak your true voice. You couldn't be your true self.
Yes, which led to my body reacting. And I think my body was fighting back because I was trying to squeeze into being the person society expected me to be. And in my body's fight against society, it created cancer. My body created cancer as a wake-up call, as a protest, as a whatever you want to call it. My body gave it a voice, the frustration. And the cancer progressed. It was lymphatic cancer. It metastasized. I had tumors the size of golf balls all around my neck, under my arms, in my chest. My body stopped absorbing nutrition, and I lost a tremendous amount of weight. I weighed about 85 pounds. And on February the 2nd, 2006, the doctors told my family that these are my final hours, and I went into a coma and I died. That was it. I was never supposed to come back. But during that time, I had this near-death experience where I crossed over. I was out of my body. I was on the other side. I was greeted by my deceased loved ones and guides. And I felt incredible. I felt amazing. I was so happy to be out of my body. And I felt like I was enveloped in this sea of unconditional love, which I don't ever remember feeling before. And that's where I felt the fullness of who I really am. And I realized, oh my gosh, what you said, you're using words I haven't used before, and I like that. So I'm going to adopt your words. I realized that I was way too big for this frail body. Yeah, way too big. And I realized, again, borrowing from your words, I shouldn't have been trying to squeeze myself down. I should have actually allowed my body and my psyche and my consciousness and my brain to truly see how big my energy was. I was supposed to adapt upwards, not downwards.
I think it's a Katy Perry song, Roar. You were supposed to roar. That is who and what you are. And you roar, even when you're soft, you roar loudly now, Anita, and it's beautiful.
Oh, thank you. I like softness and tenderness. I still value that so much because our world lacks it. It lacks it desperately. Desperately, it's needed.
To me, it is a balanced, I use this to describe a balanced approach now. It's not necessarily the time of the divine feminine. Certainly it's the time of the masculine has gone away, but it is this very balanced, strong, centered, mothering, nurturing, loving, kind compassion, and with the sword of Archangel Michael time. I believe that's the time that we're in now, and you are embodying that.
Wow, thank you. That's quite a big. Those are big shoes to fill, and I hope to fill them.
Those are the shoes. Oh, hello. those are the shoes that I believe we've all come in here to fill in each in our own ways. My daughter has just brought me some lights. And speaking of
Oh,
warrior energy,
oh my goodness, look
oh,
at her.
hello.
She is beautiful. Oh my goodness, look, she's so precious. I love it. I love her already.
So,
Look at
and she
her.
is the new Jen, but you've been leading the way with the new Jen. And I'm not just saying this as words, Anita. It is the time where, and I really want to get back to your story, but you know my connection to Maui with Dr. Wayne Dyer. You have a very strong connection to Maui. Um, it is very near and dear to our hearts what took place and what is still taking place and unfolding there. It is a wake-up call, and it is a time to step forward with action, to re-empower ourselves, arm in arm, to step forward and heal the planet and heal the earth. And to me, Mother Maui is the heart of the earth, and her heart has now cracked wide open.
Yes. Yes, I can see that. I can see that. And of course, as you mentioned, and as you know, I have a connection to Maui because that was Wayne Dyer's home. And I've traveled there several times to see him and to do events with him. So it really, just following what's happening in Maui has brought a lot of sadness to me, and of course to Wayne's family. So yes, I am so glad that you are intentionally focused on helping to heal, even just with your energy of intention. I love that you're doing that.
Let's go back to your story, because what I am seeing is I'm seeing the toxins, the poison, the energy that was stuffed under the surface that needed to come out, coming out from you in literally any way it could.
Yes, exactly. So it did. And I literally physically developed these open skin lesions where the toxins were weeping out of my skin.
What happened? You're on the other side. You're seeing friends and family. You're, if I'm understanding right, you're getting a 360-degree view of the world, which means you're understanding how big, how full, how great you truly are. And great, I'll put in quotes. There's no word to describe it. And then you met with your father and best friend, and what happened there?
So my dad, you know, because I had a turbulent relationship with my dad when I was growing up, and particularly because I was not fitting into my culture. I wanted things that were different than what he wanted. What I wanted for me was very different from what he wanted for me. So we always clashed, and he always wanted to groom me for an arranged marriage, and I didn't want that. And eventually, when I gave in and agreed to an arranged marriage, 3 days before the wedding, and I ran away. And if you know anything about Indian weddings are like a 7-day affair, and the venues were booked and relatives had all flown in. We had flown out. The wedding, we were living in Hong Kong and the wedding was going to be in India. So we had flown to India. All our friends and family and everybody was already there, and venues were booked, and musicians and videographers and horses, and you know, it was just the whole thing. And 3 days before the wedding, I ran away, which brought a lot of shame to my family and to my fiance's family as well. And so my name was ostracized in our expanded community, because it's kind of a global community. And so my name was ostracized. I was told that no Indian man would marry me after what I had done. And I brought shame to my family. I brought shame to his family. And so, you know, as we move forward in life, many incidences happened where my parents would take me to see Hindu gurus and ask, why is our daughter this way? Why isn't she getting married? And gurus would give me messages of things like, it's her karma, or she's very difficult, she's stubborn, she's not adjusting to the ways she needs to. And when I saw my dad on the other side, I expected a tremendous amount of judgment from him, but I got none, no judgment whatsoever. All I felt from him was pure, unconditional love. And I understood that while I believed I was a victim of my culture, I realized he was a victim of the same culture. He was doing the best he knew how from our culture's perspective. He was trying to get me into a good marriage with a good husband that would take care of me. So he was doing the best he knew how. But here on the other side, there was no judgment. And I understood that he loved me unconditionally. And everything that he did was from a place of love. And I realized on the other side, we don't communicate with our voices or language or vocal cords because we have no bodies, we have no biology. So everything he wanted me to know, I just knew. You communicate telepathically, but it's like your essences merge. And when we cross over, we not only leave behind our physical bodies, we leave behind our culture, our gender, our race, our religion, and all the beliefs that we've accumulated over a lifetime. So what really crosses over is our pure essence. So here was my dad's pure essence and my pure essence, and we were merged, and I understood him, and I understood that he loved me unconditionally, and he had never meant to hurt me. And he understood that I had never meant to hurt him. It was just the spirit of who I was just came through and could not shrink itself down to what my dad wanted me to be. He realized that that was who I was meant to be. That was my soul's intention and journey, that my soul was much bigger than what he was trying to squeeze it into.
I would say that you didn't run away from a wedding. You ran towards yourself.
Yes, I like that. I like the words you're giving.
That's what you did.
And yeah, that is
if we
so
look
true.
at this from a really big picture perspective, and these just aren't just words, he got to play a role in your lifetime, this lifetime. You played a role too, to actually empower you, to take away your power, to rip away the carpet, to again bring you back to that warrior princess, we'll say, that you couldn't have evolved into if you didn't have that resistance. It's sort of like if you plant a giant tree and there's no resistance in the soil, it doesn't go anywhere. If you rip open a cocoon to get a butterfly out, it doesn't make it. It needs that resistance. And that gave you your wings.
Yes, the resistance. Exactly. It gives you the wings. It's the resistance that actually strengthens the muscles.
So
yeah.
What did you?
That's so true. I love that.
What did? Let's put it this way. And I'm thinking of Carl Jung, who had his own near-death experience. And came back and said, why did I come back? Take me back. Why am I here? I imagine you weren't choosing door B, send me home, send me back to earth.
No, I wasn't choosing that. I know. I have gone through many times of feeling exactly that. Why did I come back? Why am I here? But I have to admit that I also have many, many amazing times as well. And I'm so glad I did come back. But yes, I bet you she sometimes thinks that too. Like
if you wake her up too quickly, if she doesn't wake up on her own, and if you wake her up quickly, it's going from that other pure world, whatever we want to call that, all of a sudden back to earth so fast. And she's going, what happened? She's going, oh, yes. No. Oh, no.
Look at that. Look. She just did that. Yes, exactly. She's like, how did I end up here? Look at her expression. She's like, yeah, there. Like, how did I end up here? This was the wrong planet. And she was like, yeah. she said, this is the wrong planet. But she's so blessed to have parents like you. Oh my God, she's going to be amazing. She's so blessed to have such amazing parents.
Thank you. So then you get to decide, oh, I can read you the book. It's a book on Mountainside. I can read you the book after the show if that works. And I want to give you all of my attention afterwards. Will that work? She says yes.
Oh, I must send you my children's
please,
books.
please, please,
I'm
please,
going to
please.
ask Ross
I'm
to
like
do
a
that.
kid in a candy
I
store
have
now.
two.
Yes.
See?
Would you like books from
I'm
Anita?
going to ask Ross to organize. Say yes, please say yes.
we have down, and we have a knowing when she says yes, but she doesn't say the word yes yet. We have oh no, we have oops, we have oof, we have thank you. We don't have yes yet. It's
Fun.
coming. But yes, yes, yes. I'll say it for her.
Great. That's so cool. I will ask Ross to organize for you to get my two children's
Thank you, and
books.
thank you, Ross. So you're on the other side. You're going, I could stay here. This is good. This feels good. I am loved.
Oh,
I'm
yes.
expansive. I've got the 360 view. This is life is life. Life after life is good.
Yeah. Life after life is better than life.
We'll go with
Yes,
Dr.
go
Evan
ahead.
Alexander, more real than real as well. What did your father and best friend tell you, or what did you hear from them that brought you back here?
That it wasn't my time. So several things they said. It wasn't my time. I still had things to do here. I had not completed my purpose. My husband's purpose is linked to my purpose. And if I didn't go back, he wouldn't be able to complete his purpose either. And I was also told that there were gifts waiting for me. And if I didn't come back, basically the hard work was already done. And now I had to go and receive the gifts. And I have to say, even knowing that and coming back, it hasn't always been easy. So I'm just going to say that because Earth life just isn't always easy. It just isn't.
We have a bleep key, and I've had 2 NDEs myself, though not nearly as far down the rabbit hole as you. But I'm going to use that bleep key here. Forgive me, Anita. Integration is a
Yes. Yes, it is. Oh my God, is it ever?
What the? Or in the words of Hannah Bear.
Yes, 100. Yes, integration is tough. But I was getting all these messages that from my dad and my best friend that your purpose isn't complete. It's not your time. Your husband's purpose isn't complete. It's linked to yours. And the thing is that I was thinking, my body is sick and dying. Why do I want to go back into that body? And then my next understanding was, now that you know the truth of who you really are, your body will heal very, very quickly. And then I got the message from my dad. And then I was like, but I don't know what is my purpose, which I haven't completed. And the message from my dad is basically was, you don't need to know it. It'll unfold before you. Go back and live your life fearlessly. That's all you have to do. Go back and live your life fearlessly.
That gets at the very heart of where I want to be and play, and where Hannah Bear wants to play today. What does it mean for all of us, and what does it mean for you, Anita, to live life fearlessly?
So in a nutshell, living life fearlessly means being myself fearlessly. And that is so important. At least I find it is so important for people to understand what fearlessly means, because a lot of people misinterpret it. And especially because of the world we live in, this world of duality, and well-meaning people can say things that can derail you. And so all somebody has to say for me to really think twice for it to be jarring is, it's when I don't want to do something. Let's say I don't want to do something. Even today, I get people saying to me, what is your fear? Why are you afraid of doing it? Your own message is live your life fearlessly. So what's holding you back? So here's the thing. This would cause anyone else to go, oh yeah, maybe it is the fear, so let me do it. No, 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 no. It's about being yourself fearlessly. Do I want to do it? How does it feel for me to do it? And then if you feel, no, I really don't want to do it, but this person wants me to do it. And that's why they're saying, why am I afraid to do it? So the answer is be yourself fearlessly, in that be fearless about saying no to that person, even though it's not what they want to hear. So that's what's really important to get across in my message about being fearless, because people are constantly going to tell you when you say that you're fearless, so you want to live your life fearlessly. So what are you afraid of? Why aren't you doing this? I'm not being afraid. I'm being myself. This is not what I want to do. And it doesn't feel
It
good
also
to do
feels
it.
like something, forgive me, out of the Narcissist Handbook. Because everybody listening to the show, we have empathic qualities. We want to please others. We feel other people's energy. We don't want to disappoint them. We don't want to let them down. But what a powerful question. How does it feel for me?
Yes. How does it feel for me? And then honor that fearlessly.
And it means that it's interesting. I look at, I know English hopefully very well, and I know 4 or 5 other languages badly, shall we say. But the word, we don't have a good word that gets at the essence. Maybe discord or discordance comes closest. We use the word fear because we don't really have a word, and even more as a male, you might use the word angry because you don't have the word to describe that. Feels out of alignment. That does not feel right for me. And we don't have the word to describe that energy.
Yeah, we don't actually have the proper word to describe that energy of, it's that strength of how something feels for you. And it doesn't even have to be anger. I mean, it can be, sometimes anger seems to have a negative connotation, although it shouldn't, because it's just a release of energy. And it really shouldn't have a negative connotation. But this energy, this fearlessness, which is the word I tend to use, it's interesting because the word fearlessness does get me into trouble because of the number of times that people say to me, you say that you're fearless, so why are you fearing doing this? And it gets thrown at me a lot, which is why I've learned to be very specific that it's about fearlessly saying no if something doesn't resonate.
Let's ask a fun question. Not that we haven't had fun already, Anita, because this is beautiful and I love you very much. But what would you say is fearless love, or to love fearlessly?
Ooh, that's a good question. To love fearlessly means loving regardless of the result. Most of us are really cautious. We're cautious because we're cautious. We're afraid of getting hurt. So we are afraid of loving with no return. So we often what we call love is not really love. It's conditional. It's a seeking for approval. But imagine if you decide that you are going to be love, you're going to embody love, and you're going to love regardless of how people react. Like, it means even loving, even if it's not reciprocated, even if the person lets you down, you're not going to be any less loving, because it speaks volumes about yourself. You can stand up for yourself. You can separate yourself from people who are harmful, but it doesn't mean you stop being a loving person. In other words, I would say the way to epitomize what you just said is to quote something like, I will not stop being love because of another.
And there is that warrior power right there. What does, as you came back, what does love and the awareness of love have to do with anything or everything? And maybe even there was more loving for your body as you came back for it to heal. Let's take it through that journey of healing there.
So I had to do something that was very, very hard for me to do. And that was to put myself first and foremost, to put my well-being above anything else and anyone else. And I had no idea how hard it was. I had no idea how conditioned I was to put everybody's needs ahead of me. And I had no idea how automatic it was for me to serve and think of other people before me, to always feel that other people were more important and to put them ahead of me in every way. And I had no idea until I had the NDE and came out and understood why I had got so sick. I had no idea that was my biggest challenge. That was my biggest struggle, actually putting myself ahead of everyone else. And that is what I had to learn to do.
Which means also that it was and is and maybe always will be your greatest gift.
Yes, it's my greatest challenge and my greatest gift.
I'm going to jump ahead. We're going to go all over the place for a little bit here. We've got a challenged, well, we've got so many challenges right here, Anita. We've got an earth that's on fire. We have politics that are on fire. We have emotions that are on fire. Everything's seemingly out of control at this point. Bringing forward that wisdom of truly embracing yourself and loving yourself and stepping forward as your true self. How do we then integrate that into everything that's going on now? Because like before the show, I'm going, where do I go with the show, Jessica? Because I mean, she's my muse, and she's also the former producer till we had baby. So we're talking about that. And she's like, it has to be about saving this place now. So
oh, I love that.
She's got that warrior energy as well, Anita.
We need it. We need that in the world. So what is the world lacking right now? To me, it's lacking compassion, empathy, love, peace. What are we in abundant flow of right now? We're in an abundant flow of ruthlessness, divisiveness, opinions, everything along those lines. So if you want to bring more love into the world, more peace into the world, more harmony into the world, then we have to embody that. We have to be that. And remember my quote, I will not stop being loved because of another. So first step is to be aware that this is going on and I want to bring love into the world. So if people are on board with that, second step, don't fight against what you don't want.
Thank you.
Because fighting, yes.
I get it.
Yes, I know you get it. Not everybody gets it, because I still get attacked. And again, I still reach out in love to the people who attack me, but I still get attacked by people who say, if you're not fighting against blah, 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 then you're part of the problem. And I'm like, I don't fight against anything. That's
Amen.
Your fight. God bless you, and all power to you, but it's not my fight. Mine's different. I believe in increasing what I do want and not fighting against what I don't want. It's the same with health. I don't believe in fighting against disease. I believe in expanding wellness and teaching people what that means. And that's where I think our healthcare system has it completely back to front. But going back to what the planet needs, so we tend to handle everything upside down and the wrong way around. So with the planet, what I would do if it were me is that I would tell people that really, and this is what I say this at my events, I say this in my interviews, and I'm going to share this with you. I don't really care if people are on the left or on the right, or neither or both or in the middle. I don't really care which president you voted for, didn't vote for, or love or hate. I don't really care whether you're vaccinated or not vaccinated. Every single one of us has a soul. Every single one of us is going to die one day. And when we die, we're going to recognize the truth of what was really important. And here's what's really important. Your soul craves love. Your soul craves connection. And no matter who you are, no matter what side you're on, that is what your soul craves. And if we can learn to put that above everything else, then we're on the road to healing this planet. And I'm not going to fight people with my message. I'm not going to fight against anything. I'm just going to share my message, and those who are interested can come and listen.
Woo-hoo. As you said that, I couldn't help but go to the banyan tree in Lahaina. Particularly, as you said, upside down and the wrong way around. What I was picturing is the banyan tree, which to me is a representation of the very heart of Hawaii, the very heart of Maui, the very heart of humanity. It's a sacred place to anyone who's been there. While she she's definitely has some challenges on the above side. According to botanists, they believe that the initial botanists believe she's going to make it, because upside down and the wrong way around, she's as big underneath as she is above. And connected to the earth, she's still strong in there. And that takes me back to what you said. Soul craves love and craves connection. And it is the very thing that both we appear to have so little of today and is being played against us. And whether we call it manipulation, and I'm not saying there's this one big bad organization, they were the bad church. No, it's the ego of humanity gone awry to help us to grow, to help us to ascend. It's the electron pump, negative, positive, that allows us to have the electricity to run this. It's helping us to ascend. But it is used, that energy is used to make these tribal connections of us versus them. You'll get love within your tribe if you fight against the other. But I think what you recognized from the other side is there is only one consciousness. Your consciousness was your dad's consciousness, was your best friend's consciousness, is all of our consciousness.
Yes, when you're on the other side, you realize there is no other. You're not fighting against another. You're fighting against the same consciousness. And you are going to meet these same people on the other side. And you're all going to proverbially be kicking yourself and thinking, I had the opportunity to do it differently, but I didn't. My pride got ahead of me, my ego, my pride, whatever it is, my anger.
So you said something very profound in passing. Thank you so much. You said something very profound in passing that I know that you do on a regular basis, but you didn't poo-poo it. You just said it naturally and moved on. But it bears repeating and blowing out. You said that people may be angry with me. Well, if you're not fighting against them, then you're the enemy. And I think you said something like, I still send them love. And then you continued on with your conversation. That's profound and that's huge. So let's rewind the tape. And when someone gifts you with that, how important is it? Again, if it's a narcissist, we can exit stage right. But how important is it to go back to a place of love?
It's very important. So I want to be careful here. If you are feeling frustration and anger at the reaction you received, then it's important not to suppress that and to don't force a feeling of love. That is important. You always have to be yourself. But when you allow yourself to be yourself, and when you allow yourself your self-expression, you will realize that at the core of it, the reason you felt what you felt, the reason you felt that hurt or that anger is because you felt unaccepted and unloved, and you were trying to win these people's approval. So when you can eventually distance yourself, you can eventually take yourself back to this place of love and know that that person was just doing the best they could in that moment with what they knew. And for them, that was their way of expressing love for who they thought were a downtrodden tribe, and I had to be fighting for the same things they did. So in their mind, they were doing what they thought is right. And I can give you tangible examples. It's when people, even when people come at me from the religious camp, who honestly in their heart believe that they're doing a service, and when they come and they say, and they will come into my platforms and my Facebook groups and my Instagram feeds and YouTube, and will put huge block capital messages to my followers like, don't listen to her, she's lying, she's leading you astray, her words are of Satan, of the devil, if Jesus is not in there, it's not true. Or they're saying, so this happens from time to time. Thankfully it's not a lot, but it happens from time to time. And even when I'm doing a Facebook Live, and sometimes I will actually address them, and they mean well, because they actually think that they are saving a lot of people. And so I will address them and say, hey, I can see that you're feeling a lot of fear by my message. So I'd like to just send you love and thank you for trying to save people. But in my own way, I'm also helping people. And I might address them and say something to them. And I'll say, but regardless, I'll just say, I'm just sending you love and a hug, and that's it. And I'll move on. So I tend to do that because I know that in their own mind, they think they're helping people. And I believe that most people, even those that have gone completely awry, who end up in prison, I don't think they intended to do that. We live in a tough, we live in a really tough reality. And as a race, as a total race, we're not that advanced.
We're getting there. Well, let me ask the question then. And why do you feel we live in this wrong side of the tracks of humanity, so to speak?
Well, first of all, there is a tremendous amount of beauty and positivity here. A tremendous amount. I almost feel, so I'm just going to tell you what I feel. And again, I'm not invested in this. I'm not trying to convince anyone, but I actually feel that this is where we get to tone our muscles to really see whether we're made of love or not. It really is about honing those muscles. This is like the ultimate test of living on this planet.
I like it. So let's go back. Let's either go back to the other side, or it's there's a lot of talk lately about is this a simulation? Is this a holographic universe? Is this an Earth school? Is this something other than the greater reality? And if we say that, well, I want to go home, and home is the other side of the veil, the everything, the everywhere, it begets the question that we've got to ask, does this world matter?
That's a big question. And yes, it does. And it actually does. And I say that because honestly, even after saying everything that I said, I'm extremely optimistic about this world and about being here. I do believe that there are more and more people being born, including your little angel, your precious little girl, more and more people being born and coming into this world, or awakening, or having experiences that are trying to turn this into a heaven on earth. And it is highly possible to live a life of heaven here. I believe that's why people have near-death experiences, is to give them a glimpse of the other side so that they can recreate it here. And I believe that's what we're actually trying to do. We're trying to create this heaven on earth. But as we are creating this, what's happening is this change is pushing out some of the old paradigm. So the old paradigm is clinging on tighter and pushing back more fiercely, because we're triggering all their fears of losing everything that they have and everything that they know, because we're kind of bringing in something new and different. And the old paradigm has been built on fear. The new one is built on love. So a paradigm that's built on fear is one that values greed and money and ruthlessness above love and time and well-being. And this is why what you see currently we're still currently living in the old paradigm where most people in society put money above well-being. You look at our healthcare system. What does it do? Does it put your health before money? No. You look at people's lives, how people live their lives. Do they put their health and well-being before money? No, most people sacrifice their health to go and work at a job that they hate just to be able to pay the bills. And this is how we've structured the society, the community. This is how we've structured the world we live in. It takes a huge breaking down of current values and the current way we do things to change that, because after a near-death experience, speaking for myself, my values, my top value is my well-being. My other value is time. My time is extremely valuable, what I do with this time here. Both of these are far more valuable than money. Money will come once I value these things, because again, the next thing that's higher than money is relationships. Relationships and love is extremely valuable. These are my three top values. But is it the top value of society in general, or the world we live in general? No, it isn't. So we have to integrate into a world that does not place these values as top values. And we're trying to integrate into a world that places different values as its priorities. And so that's what's pushing back. And so when you have more people that place the values of well-being and love and relationships and time as higher values, it pushes against the old values. And the people who have profited off the old values are going to hold on tighter and push back harder. And that's the chaos we're experiencing right now. That's how I see it.
Thank you, Anita.
Anyway.
It's interesting. I channel as I do this. And when you made the comment, push back more fiercely, I wanted to go into the understanding that we can't push back against the pushback. And what I heard from the other side is, don't play the game. Don't hit the ball back.
You got it. You got it in one. You are so in tune to what I'm saying. And this is the thing about fighting against what we don't want. You're playing along with the game. You're playing the game. Yeah, you got it in one. I don't even need to.
Maybe it's
add
Wayne on
anymore
the other side
to
with his
that.
racket.
Yes.
How do we not play the game? It's so easy when we use the word manipulated, whatever we want to play with that word at the beginning. It's so easy to get sucked back into the game. All you have to do is go on your social media, is go on a phone call, is go on the news, what I call the negative worthless stimulation, and your energy is brought up to an ire to suck you right back into the game.
Oh, I know what you're saying. I deal with it all the time. And it's not just social media. It's people who come at you to try and exploit you. And the way they do it is by making you feel, and we, you, me, all of us in this field, in this genre, we want to spread love. We want to spread compassion. We are empathic. Most of us are empaths. And we're easily swayed. And so the way they do it, these people that come and give us amazing offers, is by making us feel that we are being difficult if we don't take up on their offer. I get this happening to me all the time. It's almost my middle name now, that being, I am probably labeled one of the most difficult people at this time, because generally when dealing, I'm not talking about my followers and the general public, but I'm talking about people who want something from me in terms of in the greater world, in terms of whether it's to make bigger things and do bigger things, where when you don't play on their terms, they make you feel like you're being difficult. So I get that all the time. And I also get a lot of people that make me believe, who say to me that if you're not part of this battle, then I'm not a fan of yours and I'm unfollowing you and I'm done with you. And so you get this all the time. But we just have to let them be on their way. And so the way I do it, What it means to me is to not play back is exactly that. Don't bat the ball back and create your own game. And my game is different. My game is, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. I know why I'm here. I know what I have to do. And I'm not going to get in the way of anybody else doing what they're doing. So please don't get in the way of what I'm doing. But if you want to come and join me, I will welcome you with open arms. But I'm not going to stop doing what I'm doing because you want me to do something else. But if you're bringing me something that sounds amazing to me and it levels me up, then yeah, I might come on board or ask you to collaborate with me. But if you're telling me, no, stop what you're doing and you have to do what I do, or otherwise you're not being a good person, no, I'm really clear inside as to the direction I have to go. And I'm just going to keep going in that direction. I was just going to say the key here to not buy into other people's games is to be clear as to what you want to do and what your direction is, and just go in your direction. Don't try and pull people in, but welcome them if they come in, and don't fall for it when other people try to derail you. I've been derailed so many times.
How do you check in? So you come back from a near-death experience. You've had this global understanding of consciousness in the world, but your wiring is still your wiring. And you have this myelinated superhighways that are going to tell you need to please others. You're less than, you're wrong, they're right. How do you check in on the deepest, highest level to say, wait a second, where do I stand?
It's not easy. It's not easy, but checking in is so important. But you're going to get reminders, and that's the thing. That's what spirit does. That's what your soul does. That's what your guides do. And sometimes the reminders are really painful. They're really painful. And I completely burned out because I got derailed. I lost myself again. And it was painful. And I didn't feel good physically. I felt terrible. I had to prioritize myself. I realized I had stopped prioritizing myself. I realized I had fallen for the game of other people because I wanted to be a good person. I wanted to do what was best for everyone, that I forgot to check in that, does this feel good for me? And it didn't. And I was doing things that didn't feel good for me because other people wanted me to do them. And so it's so important to keep checking in with your physical body and find a place of solace, a place of quiet. The minute that your body starts to develop interesting symptoms, that's the signal for me. When my body starts to develop interesting symptoms, in different people's cases, it could be different things. It could be that maybe your relationships are going a bit funny, or you're suddenly finding that you're not making enough money to pay the bills. So you have two choices in any of these cases. It's to either go down the hole of fear and handling this situation from a state of fear. So the state of fear is, oh my God, I'm losing my health. And so you go down the state of fear of thinking in terms of deterioration and thinking in terms of taking pharmaceuticals and thinking that it's downhill from here. Or if it's relationships, it's like, oh my God, my relationships are not working out. And then going through, whatever breakups. Or if it's the money thing, it's this fear, like, oh my God, I'm losing money now. You go into this fear of doing what you can to hold on to money. Or the second choice is the choice of love. And that is going inward and saying, okay, why am I now experiencing these struggles? Why am I now experiencing these challenges? What is the wake-up call here? What is it asking me to do? And that's what I did. I started to ask, why are these health challenges happening? What is the message here? What are they asking me to do? What am I doing right now that doesn't feel like me? Where am I dishonoring myself? Where am I forsaking myself? Where am I throwing myself under the bus, or being downtrodden on myself. Ask yourself questions like that. Where am I compromising myself? Those are the kinds of questions we need to be asking.
But you said something fascinating. You said handling this situation. And to me, I get this image of an elephant that's out of control, and out of fear, you're trying to handle the elephant, versus going inward, which is what you said, which to me is actually going upward, to take a more expansive view of what is actually possible because of what I'm hearing, because of what I'm feeling.
Yes, you are so good at pinpointing certain things I say and putting really good analogies and words to them. I love that. I love what you just said. And it is exactly that, because what we do is we continue to juggle. So let's say if somebody is in a job they hate and then their health starts to fail, what they do is they start to manage their health, continuing in this job they hate, and it adds to their stress. So now something else is going to give out. And so they're like, oh man, life really sucks. My job is so stressful and my health is really deteriorating, but I really got to keep going to work to pay my bills. And now because of that, my relationship is suffering. And they just keep juggling all these balls and everything is just falling apart, but they just keep juggling until they completely fall apart. But my way of looking at it is that as soon as you see things happening in one area of your life, start going inward and asking yourself, what is the message here? What's the wake-up call? And nobody needs to be in a job they hate just to pay the bills. Nobody, because that does lead to poor health.
When we see this happening, this is a wake-up call for all of humanity, that we've just hit the same thing that we may face individually with our health, and that we each get to now stop, drop, and go inwards because we are getting the outer warning or wake-up calls.
Yes, 100%. I like that.
Thank you.
Oh, absolutely.
So, Anita, where can people go to find your beautiful work, to find your books, to find all that you have to offer?
So the best place is my website, which is anitamoorjani.com. I also have an online platform, a membership platform, where I do have Zoom calls and I bring in amazing guests as well. And we have chat forums, and that's called the anitamoorjanisanctuary.com. And of course, I'm on all the social media platforms. I have a ton of videos on YouTube, of course, available for free. I'm on Instagram and Facebook, and I believe I'm on TikTok, and I think I'm on Twitter. So I'm on all the social media platforms, and I would love it if people would follow me and watch my videos and so on. So, and my books are all available on Amazon. And I'm going to remember to have 2 children's books sent over to you.
I put on a shirt that has a giant bear on it going like this, and it says hug. And that's, I want to give you a giant bear hug, Anita.
I'm giving one right back to you.
Thank you.
Right back. I can feel it. I can feel your hug.
Any last words you want to share with people, Anita?
Final words is that it's not selfish to love yourself and to put your well-being over and above other people's, because I know that anybody who is tuned in to this kind of work, anybody who listens to Michael Sandler, anybody who follows me, anybody who's into this, I know that you are innately and naturally service-oriented. So you don't have to work on being service-oriented, but you do have to work on taking care of yourself. And so the world needs you. The world needs people like you. We need you to be strong, well, and healthy. So please take care of yourself, find your joy, eat chocolate, be happy, and allow yourself to shine so that you can uplift the world.
Woohoo! I think we need to go back to those find joy, eat chocolate, but we get to wrap things up. So I'll put it this way. for everyone out there, this is Michael Sandler saying, be well, have fun, take care of yourself, find joy, eat all of that chocolate, organic, good for the earth, take care of everybody chocolate that you can, and above and beyond all else, shine bright. New all-time favorite interview with Anita Moorjani. How does it get any better than this? If you're looking for more beautiful goodness and how you can shift your energy and how you can live on the inside, on the outside, and up above, whether you're playing with microphones or not, you can click the link down below to join us in the School of Mystics for Wednesdays every month. Of course, you can also learn automatic writing so you can channel from the other side. That link is down below. Here's the link to the next amazing video. Be sure to subscribe and like, and above and beyond all else, shine bright. Woohoo! Oh, she's saying you've got to go to dailywoohoo.com to sign up for our uplifting newsletter every single day. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. Yeah? Yeah?